Please like, subscribe, and be sure to click that bell button for regular and exciting indie film content and your chance to be the first to engage with the Liftoff Global Network of Film Festivals as we embark on launching the careers of the filmmakers of tomorrow.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
I'm Carolyn.
I'm Lloyd.
And welcome to Tokyo Liftoff's Fund Your Film.
Nice timing.
Thank you.
So, shall we jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Today's stream is all about funding. We have a wonderful couple, a filmmaker and a producer here to talk to us today. We'll jump straight into that very soon. But first, just a little bit of a update from our side. So, as always, we've had some wonderful things going on. We have 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
We had some wonderful focus groups with screenwriters and with filmmakers, and it was fantastic. And we also have our Austin winners being announced on Monday, the 15th.
Yes, so make sure you tune in for that stream to find out who the winners are, who's been shortlisted for our season awards.
Drum roll, please.
It's really exciting.
It is.
Then we also want to remind you to, after this stream, come back online at 3 o'clock because we're going to do our weekly roundup, which will be a reflection of which films have received the most audience votes.
This week.
Yeah. So, and now we want to do a shout out to some of our lovely Liftoff members who've been very active on the hub, just making great comments about other people's films, asking questions. I just want to really quickly shout out Michael Janovotsky and also Anna Morelli. There have been a bunch of you, but for this stream, we'll shout a few more out in the next stream. But for this stream, we wanted to say a big thank you to Michael and to Anna. It's just been lovely being able to chat with you both on the hub. Yeah.
And speaking of the hub, I'll take this little opportunity to remind you and flag the professional membership. And rather than listening to me ramble on, how about we jump to a video that our co-founder has made, and it's really great.
Okay.
Launch your career with Liftoff Professional Membership. For a yearly fee, you get the support to develop your ideas and get them exposed to a truly global audience. Membership includes free submissions to all Liftoff festivals and showcases, distribution for packaged projects where we will take your films and concepts to all of the major film markets, full production support. Liftoff will become your producer. Partner with the global network and let's work together to get your future projects funded, completed, and released. There's so much more to professional membership, and you can find out everything you need to know by going to liftoff.network/membership. Liftoff is the launchpad for filmmakers and their careers.
Looks pretty great, right? There's so many benefits, and it's definitely worth, if you're serious about lifting off your career, jumping into the professional membership.
Yeah. So now we want to start a little conversation with you all with some people that we found through this festival and through our conversations that we have with our professional members and other members on the hub. And we want to dive into this funding video.
Yeah, let's get to it. Enough from us, right?
Yeah.
We have some filmmakers that have made a wonderful anime feature called Chipiham, Juicy and Me. And we're going to quickly show you a little trailer. And then we're just going to jump straight into the call with them and stop talking and let them do the talking.
Yeah. So here is the trailer for Chipiham, Juicy and Me.
新しい手法、モーキャプアニメによって生まれたカルチャーショックコメディ。チビハム、ジューシー&ミー。
This is Japan! I am American!
マウント女子のドタバタ日本ホームステイ。
Oh my god! そんな子供じみた態度で一体ここで何が得られるの?
Gintama isn't very cool.
I love Japan!
All right. Hello.
We're finally live. We've got you here.
We do. We are so happy to have our director and producer on board for this little call. And so we are so pleased to introduce you all to Ricky and Ryo. And would you like to introduce yourselves?
Okay. Hi, my name is Ricky Okanda. I am a television and film director based in Tokyo, Japan. I've been here 20 years, and Ryo is one of my best friends in film production as well as the producer of this film. So, Ryo-san, dozo. Oh, by the way, I'll be translating here. So, Ryo-san, dozo.
Nice to meet you. I'm happy to talk with you. ここら日本語で喋ります。ですね、僕、中島亮はですね、日本で、普段は映画監督として、活動しています。10年間で7本の長編映画を作りました。で、チビハム・ジューシー&ミーは、リキさんの、原作を読んで初めて僕がプロデュースしようと思った作品です。で、アニメーションで作りました。
So this is Nakajima Ryo. He is a film director. He's over the last 10 years, he's taken about 7 films. But it was after that he read Chibi, Juicy, and Me, which is the story that I wrote, that he decided to foray into the world of producing.
Cool. Amazing.
So we want to just let all of our audience members know a little bit about how we found this film, how we found these filmmakers. So on our member hub, we did last week, we had a pitch go out, and we invited all of our filmmakers to make a pitch of why you should be included on our last week's stream called First Looks. Well, this wonderful film was pitched to us by Ricky, and when we took a look at it, we had a lot of interest in the film, but then we also thought, they're going to be perfect for this funding live stream. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what your budget was for this film, and just a little bit about how you went about getting that funding?
今回の映画のその作品の予算とどういうふうに予算を集めようと思ったんだっていうことを教えていただけないでしょうか。
わかりました。ですね、1000万円ぐらいの予算です。で、600万円は文化庁という日本の映画のですね、補助をしてくれる政府からお金が出ています。で、残りの400万円は、僕の会社であるズーパーズースという会社で、制作費を出しました。
Give me a second here. I've got to figure this out because they use a different number structure here than we're used to. So the budget was about what would be considered 10 million yen. And I don't know what that is in dollars or pounds or what it is, so someone has got to Google that.
Okay. We've done it for you.
It's about, you're getting to around 80 to 90,000 US dollars.
So 600, 600万ということは、国から。
はい。
6 million of that was received from a government fund for production, and 4 million of that was directly from his company's investment.
Oh,
wow.
Very interesting. So how did the two of you start working together? How was this relationship formed?
We've been friends for a while, but originally the first project was also an animation-based thing. So what he was trying to do was create an international platform by which you could have an actor in one country and another country. They'd meet online on a virtual set and create a film. And he was trying to make a connection of that between, I think it was Germany and Japan at the time. And he didn't know anyone who did directing in English, or German for that matter. So he called me to go to Germany and take care of the German side. And then it was after that we were doing all sorts of international type things. Like we went to Busan Film Festival, Busan, I think it's in English, Busan Film Festival. We were also looking for more funding because the more of those you apply for, the better. And it was there that we discussed the concept of chibi ham, which I had just finished putting into a format of an ebook. You know, it's a free story, so everyone could look at that. And then he was like, "Oh, tell me about this." And he was also at the same time developing his online animation techniques. So that was where he started, I think, Super Zeus, which is his company, and he was kind of creating how far can we push this system until it becomes a coherent story? And so they were looking for something which was very experimental. So since my story was just kind of like, it's just there, if you want it, you can have it kind of thing, he was so kind as to allow me to direct that using this really weird, bizarre kind of system. So this friendship came about as a result of both of us being directors, both of us wanting to make something creative, both of us having no money to do it, and yet passion towards the project one way or another. And so we've been friends then. So
cool. What a beautiful story, actually. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Wonderful. That is really wonderful. Can we ask you to talk a little bit about how then you went about getting the government side of the funding?
その国からの予算どうやって申請しましたか？
はい。日本では、海外に向けて作品を作るような、日本映画を支援しています。で、それで、僕と力さんの、企画を出しました。で、すでに企画は最初僕が自己資金で作っていた部分もあるので、ストーリーや一部の映像はできていたんですよね。で、それを審査してもらって、出資を受けることができたということです。
So the project for that is there exists a fund with the Japanese government in the Ministry of the Arts. Mm-hmm. And this fund is especially designed for projects which are made in conjunction with Japan, which are planned to be distributed abroad, right? And in order to turn in your project and apply for this, he was able to create a test video first. So first he tried this is of course a brand new system here that he was trying to develop, but he was able to make a test story, which he turned into the arts department. Say department. I don't like this word for that. The government art department. And they looked at that and they said, okay, we're going to help you to fund this new kind of a system, this new style of animation. That's where that's what they, Cool. And of course, one of the things that with this, what is interesting about this is that he already had a plan for distribution. He had a plan for what he wanted to do afterwards with this story. So that was very convincing to government agencies. It's not just like, I want to make this because. It's always like, well, I want to make this because. And then he had some actual answer for that too.
Yeah, they see where it's going to go. So it's investable, right? Yeah. Nice. That's very cool. I have a bit of a slightly different question, let's say. Do you have any interesting or bizarre stories across your time as filmmakers in receiving funding? Maybe anecdotes that unusual ways you might have received some support for projects you've done or for this project.
その予算集まる予算収穫のための何かな面白いアネクドートありますか？こういう小話いうか、こういうふうにお金が集まったこともあるんだなっていうのが何かありますか？
このチビハム以外ですよね。
チビハム以外でも。
クラウドファンドがあります。日本の福岡というところの能古島という小さな島で作った映画なんですけど、それは、日本の映画の会社じゃなくて、その福岡の地方の、地元の企業の人やクラウドファンドで映画を作りました。で、2000万円の予算で作りました。で、その作品には福岡出身の日本で有名な俳優がたくさん出てくれました。なんでその土地の人が応援してくれるということですね。その住んでる土地の人たちがお金を出して応援してくれるということです。
So one of the interesting things that until now Mr. Nakajima has worked with was a local project with the Fukuoka area of Japan. It was Nokonoshima. And it's a very small little town, and it's a crowdfunding process that he used. In order to fund this, he went around to very, very local businesses, and he was able to acquire a cast of people who were born and raised in that area in order to acquire something like it's twice the budget that they had now. So it's 20 million yen.
Wow.
It's fun for him.
Yeah, That's great.
That is very cool. It's really so lovely hearing you both talk about how you've collaborated with other artists, like how you found each other first, and then how it's such a community-driven process making film. And I think it's really important for all of our filmmakers, all of our audience to remember that starts from the first moment of idea, and as soon as you start thinking about funding, start thinking community, because way before you even get on set, you need that community to make this grow. And speaking of the community, I just want to take a quick moment to say hi to Roy, who has made some comments here on the chat for this live stream that we have right now. And his film Thulukia has also had a few chats on here, and we've got a lot going on in the chat right now, a lot of buzz, a lot of comments, which is wonderful, showing their support for you as filmmakers and their interest in connecting with each other.
Amazing. Also, something specific for Tokyo, perhaps, or for Japan. Do you have possibly some recommendations or some suggestions of specific places there that filmmakers might look for if they're based over in Tokyo? Kind of, this is for the Tokyo Liftoff people that are maybe local.
Well, it depends on your on what you're looking for in terms of background and stuff. But there are a lot of places, for example, just outside of Tokyo, there's a place called Ibaraki. And over in Ibaraki and Tochigi, which are just north of the city, we have all those old-fashioned Edo-style, old Japanese samurai kind of towns. And they're made specifically for filming. And they're really easy to film. So if you want to make film explosions and stuff and battles and stuff, well, that's the place to do it. Okay. There's also they also adjust for the size of the budget too. So if you're don't have a bazillion-dollar budget and you still want to film samurai stuff, they're very helpful. Things like that. I will say that in Tokyo, it's really, really hard to film outdoors in terms of cars and streets and stuff, because they love to. There are people who love to complain about it. But there are other cities in Japan too. So, for example, Kobe, and just outside of Osaka, there's a place called Sakai, for example. There are places around the city or around the country which are a lot more helpful in terms of filming. So even if you're in Tokyo and they say no, and you have a little tiny budget, you can still call up somewhere like Sakai or Kobe and be like, look, I gotta film the scene. There's this action scene. The cars are going like this, and we want to have something fun. And they'll be like, okay, you can't film that in Tokyo, but y'all come over here and I'll show you the most Tokyo-looking kind of area. So they're really helpful, even for people which don't have like a huge budget. They're very, very helpful.
Amazing. Very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really incredible.
So then jumping through, just kind of skimming through these questions, could you provide, we've got here 3 like key points that you feel are like generally helpful or useful in securing funding, that you feel has been kind of running through your track record of securing funding?
今まで自分のその予算を収穫するためには例えば若者とか初心者のためにどんなところ、例えば3つの点を挙げられるとしたらどんなところを強調すればいいでしょうか？
すごくIt's very difficult question for me. それはですね、チビハムジューシー&僕は自分が見たいと思う映画を作りたいと考えてチビハムジューシー&ミを作りました。
He created something in Chibi Ham Juicy and Me, which was something that he personally wanted to see.
しかし映画の会社は自分が見たいものじゃなくてお客さんが世の中が見たいものを作るべきだと言います。
So there are a lot of producers or a lot of film companies which are going to say, well, don't, that's not good enough a reason. It has to be something that everyone wants to see, not just you. Right?
その時プロデューサーが大きな映画会社のプロデューサーが言う3つのポイントを紹介します。
So he's going to explain the 3 points that are most common in terms of film producers, what they tell him that they want from him. Okay.
俳優の SNS のフォロワーの数。
How many followers someone has on SNS?
原作の漫画は何万部売れているのか。
How much has the original story sold until now in terms of books or manga or whatever? How famous is it?
もう一つは笑って泣ける分かりやすいストーリーなのか。いつも僕は絶望します。その3つのポイントを聞いて。
And he says that the third point is it something that people can laugh at or cry about or get angry about? And every time he is told those three things, unfortunately, Mr. Nakajima is always at a loss.
Okay.
Wow. Can I ask a follow-up question then about that? What would you recommend for filmmakers as to how to get started if they don't have specifically those first 2 points?
その最初の有名人も出てないし、特に原作があるわけでもないの人に対しての何かアドバイスありますか？
はい。僕も10年前はそうでした。同じです。
It was the same way 10 years ago.
だから自分でお金を出して友達を集めて小さな作品を作りました。
And so he's going to say the same thing that I did as well too. So it's going to be for everybody, I guess. What you do is you gather all your friends, you gather a bunch of duct tape, and you do it yourself.
そして映画出したんですね。
So you'll have to be paying for mostly out of pocket for your first couple stories.
そうで映画祭ですごい評価されて、映画会社から映画を作ることをオファーされるようになりました。
The way that he was able to transition into mainstream was by submitting his projects to various film festivals, just like a lot of people do. In my case, I didn't go the film festival way, but I was trained in television over here in Japan. So I did the same thing. So in terms of I made my own film with the people that I knew, just my friends. And then after making those films, I turned them into the television stations where I worked. And so they're like, okay, looks like you can handle a camera. Okay. And so the producer have to see what you can do. And then they'll be like, okay, well, then I'll give you this project and that project. So
great.
Either way, you have to make something with friends or in the budget with which you're limited with and show that you have the challenge to deal with a bigger budget. And then that's the first time they're going to hire you as a director.
Amazing. And it's super beautiful that you kind of both mentioned that the core of all of that and the starting point for you is that you actually had a passion to do this and you're finding stories that you want to tell. And I guess despite the difficulties in getting the funding, if you care enough, you're going to keep going and you're going to get your friends together and you're going to make what you want to make, right? That's I think a very beautiful message for any artist. Yeah.
Okay, and so we're coming to the end of this stream now, and so we just want to now open it up to you. Is there any final bit of advice you would like to give to any of our filmmakers watching, whether it be regarding funding directly or just something you are just itching to let people know about?
Well, let's see. In my case, the one thing I do want to say is that there's no such thing as the word no. So, at least in films, when it comes to film, okay, what I mean to say, if they're good, everyone in the whole wide world is going to tell you, I think I went to film school. When I went to film school, the first thing that I learned on the very first day was our wonderful professor. He says, you want to go into film? They don't want you. And that was the best advice I ever got, because it means like, okay, well, that means that when I'm going to knock on the door and they're going to tell me no. Well, that doesn't mean no. It means this way isn't going to work. I'm going to have to try another way and try another way. And try another way, another way, and another way, until one day there's going to be a door which is kind of cracked and like, that's my way in. You just got to keep on trying every single door. And they will turn you down. They will tell you that you can't do it. They will tell you that you don't have enough money or it's the wrong way or it's not good enough. And they're going to do it again and again, but you do it again and you do it again and you do it again. Eventually, they're going to wear somebody down. There's going to be some way in. So, that's my advice, is just simply not to give up. I'm going to ask Ryo. りょうくんさ、一番最後に若手のクリエイターに対しての何かの映画作りのアドバイスありますか？
あります。僕がバンクーバー国際映画祭に入選した時にプロデューサーの人に審査員の人に言われたことがあります。映画は初めて作る作品か 2本目の作品がそのフィルムメーカーの中で一番面白い作品になるそうです。だからこれから映画を作ったことない人たちが作る作品は多分その人の一番いい作品になる可能性があるんで頑張ってくださいという。
He says that when he applied for the Vancouver Film Festival, he was speaking with one of the people which was on the panel there, and that person gave him some wonderful advice. He says that it's usually the first or second film of a filmmaker that is going to be the most memorable of that person's. So whether it sells or whether it doesn't sell, whether it's for their personal sake or whether it's from the public's eye, the love that you're putting into your first and second projects are probably the best ones you're going to have of your life. So he says, well, put your heart and soul into those ones, is what he said.
Wow, that is some wonderful advice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. It also, just for us, it's really nice to hear these anecdotes, and it's inspiring for us here on the stream. So I'm sure it's inspiring for the many watching. So thank you.
So we just want to extend our big thanks to you both for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Thank you for sharing your experiences. And we'll go ahead and say goodbye to you for now. Hope to see you in the future. And then we've got a few more things to say to our audience members who are still on.
Would you like to do a final reminder of the film that you have streaming with us at the moment? Just a little recap for everyone.
じゃあ一番最後に何かをこの自分の作品とか今やってる作品についての最後の一言のアピール。
はい、リキさんと一緒に日本の文化、日本の日本酒をテーマにしたドラマシリーズを今企画しています。
Which is that from now on we are working together again to create a story which is about Japanese sake, if you know what that is. So this is the beginning of a very experimental foray, which is going to blossom into something greater. So please check out the first steps of what we have done.
Oh, beautiful.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And have an amazing time for the rest of Tokyo Liftoff. And I'm sure we'll be in touch. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for this live stream roundtable.
How beautiful. What a beautiful insight. I want to go and make my own films now.
Right. And we just want to remind all of our viewers to jump back on at 3 o'clock today because we are going to be sharing the weekly roundup and you will learn which films have received the most audience votes this week.
Great. Well, happy funding. I hope you go and secure some. And we'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.